Let's go to Atlanta. Let's see the new athletic director, Georgia Tech. Jay, first of all, despite the technical glitches, we're good to go. First of all, congratulations. Welcome back to the ACC. I know you got to be thrilled.
Absolutely. Couldn't be more humbled and excited to be back.
You know what? I don't know how this worked out, but ever since you left Alabama, man, what happened to that football program? Man, you leave once and all of a sudden they can't beat anybody. I don't know how that worked out.
I'm not gonna kind of claim or anything, but maybe it's a coincidence. I don't know.
I know this much. You're walking into. We were just sitting here bragging about what's been going on with Coach. I mean, all of a sudden a change and then a different attitude. Next thing you know, the Jackets are starting to believe that, hey, guess what? Why not us? That's a good feeling.
Absolutely, and certainly job one today and going forward is to support those student athletes and coaches we have here playing and coaching their tails off. I know they're working hard right now to get ready for Virginia on Thursday, and excited about the success they've had the last couple weeks, and can't wait to see what they do on Thursday night.
Jay, this is a new endeavor for you, so congratulations. What about Georgia Tech? You're an ACC guy, but you've been around. Was so enticing to you?
Yeah, it's a new start, and I think part of what is so enticing about Georgia Tech is this is the model for intercollegiate athletics. The ability to have world-class athletics, world-class academics combined together in this incredible city, this incredible community of Atlanta, and kind of jumping into that is invigorating. It's exciting, and certainly the vision that our president here, President Cabrera, has set for Georgia Tech is it's inspiring. So couldn't be more excited to jump in and get started.
Now, J-Batt, they're saying an ACC man, but, not just any ACC man. Let's just act like I'm not over here and you're not at GT, and I just want to say go Heels. But listen.
I'm going full go Jackets here.
Listen, it's okay. Listen, no, we're corporate right now. But, J-Batt, man, bringing you here, Georgia Tech, you're in a good position with this team. Where do you see yourself, on this head coach search job, being able to let Brent Key play out the rest of the season? How do you think that development will handle itself?
Well, at the end of the day, I think I've figured out where my office is. I don't know how to make coffee yet, but once I get here, I'll dive into that. I mean, I think at the end of the day, we all know that's something we've got to look at and talk about, but the kids we have here, I know, are working their tails off, and Brent and the team are working really hard to be ready for Virginia for the rest of the season. So we'll get to that once I figure out how to work that coffee machine.
Yeah, I think we'll get somebody to handle the coffee. You did a great job at Alabama from a fundraising standpoint, in addition to a lot of other things. I'm sure from a career path standpoint, you figured somewhere down the road, the opportunity will be there for me to become a director of athletics. You had a great spot there in Tuscaloosa. Did you think it would happen this fast, or is this kind of like, hey, you know what? Yeah, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be?
I think this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. At the end of the day, you never really know when these are coming, right? And you never know when the opportunity is going to present itself. But when I got first, the opportunity presented itself, it was a slam dunk for me. And at the end of the day, I couldn't be more excited. I couldn't be more happy to be here, be back in the ACC. I mean, I grew up in ACC country, guys. I grew up in Charlottesville. I went to school at Chapel Hill. It is the place that, I kind of cut my teeth as a student athlete, and couldn't be more happy to be here. So, I don't know that I ever had some magic number or target or, hey, I want to be an AD by whenever it might be, but had always hoped that this day would come, and couldn't be more excited for it to be here at Georgia Tech.
Always on God's timing, Jay. Isn't that right? I know you mentioned the head coaching search is going to kind of play out once you finally get there October 24th. You'll dive head first into all that. But I'm not sure what your relationship is like with Brent Key previously, because I know he was at Bama too. So guys both coming over from Tuscaloosa. But what was the relationship like, and what have your conversations been like over the last crazy week or so?
Sure. So, certainly know Coach Key from his time at Alabama. Our relationship, I would say we worked together in kind of just up and down the hallway kind of a way in Tuscaloosa. Had a chance to catch up with him on the phone last night. He sounded like he had been after it. As you might imagine, he's been going full go. And so just a quick conversation last night. Hopefully going to have a chance to visit with him here shortly. And we'll get some time with him this week prior to the game.
Now, Jay, ACC basketball is only, the best conference in the, nation. But at Bama, you were able to propel their basketball season as well in their program. What do you look at improving on Georgia Tech's basketball program and being able to take them, to the tournament?
Well, I think we've got a great coach in Coach Pastner. We're excited about that. On the women's side as well, Coach Fortner is awesome. And so I think we've got all the pieces in place to be really good in basketball, both men's and women's basketball. And so, again, it kind of goes in the bucket of we'll figure it out once we get the coffee made. But I think we've got a great start with both of those coaches in place. We've got a great start with our current team, and I think the sky's certainly the limit with that.
Jay, we were obviously ACC basketball media days were last week, and Nell, who obviously had experience at ESPN, has done a brilliant job taking care of the women's program. And Josh just won the ACC championship 2 years ago, and as soon as he wants to hang it up, he's got a spot on television anytime he wants it. You may have two of the most personable people I can think of under the basketball heading of both the men and women's program. And I know it's more than just giving a great soundbite or dealing with media. But, man, you have two really terrific people running the show for basketball.
I couldn't agree more. And I had a chance to talk more in depth with Nell, a little bit with Josh today. And, yeah, I couldn't agree more. They're tremendous. They're great leaders of young people. They're such positive kind of influences in our department here today. Even in my first day, I can tell that. And so, yeah, you're spot on, Mark. They're great.
By the way, getting back to Atlanta, and I'm going to kind of go back to Tuscaloosa a little bit. Obviously, Atlanta has always been a really important part of the Southeastern Conference fabric. It is kind of an interesting dynamic now that you walk into Atlanta running the show for Georgia Tech. I'm sure that's kind of and it got it for you personally. That's got to be a really interesting mix.
Oh yeah, I couldn't be more excited about the city of Atlanta. Certainly, have been here a bunch of times for traveling over to see donors or games or different SEC championship games. But this is Atlanta's team from a collegiate athletics perspective, and so look forward to getting into the community. My wife and two boys will join me here sooner than later, and so we'll be glad when they get here. We can kind of introduce the Atlanta community to them and get going. But Atlanta's a great community, and it's a perfect backdrop to build off of.
Jay, as you step into this new role, I know you've probably had a lot of people before you or ahead of you. You've picked their brains. Who's been some mentors to you or directors of athletics that you've reached out to or tried to learn from as you jump into the pool here?
Yeah, I've been really lucky. And really lucky to know and be around some great ADs. I think I'd call out Dick Bedore. If you'll think all the way back to when I was a student athlete at North Carolina, Dick Bedore was an incredible role model, an incredible leader, and somebody that I looked up to even as a student athlete to say, hey, this is what it looks like to lead an athletics program. Greg Byrne at Alabama is truly one of the absolute best in intercollegiate athletics, and Greg gave me an opportunity to get to work at Alabama to do more in the athletic department, and I've learned from him every day for the last 5 years. I can't tell you how much I value his mentorship and leadership, and that I've learned from him. And I'd also say that, we've got a close group in the ACC. I've already got a bunch of text messages from other ADs in the league, and certainly count them amongst my friends and hopefully now colleagues, and I'm excited to get into that room and work with them.
It's amazing how small that world is, isn't it, Jay? I mean, quite frankly, I know from different leagues and so forth, there's always competition and so forth. But quite frankly, everybody's kind of in the same deal in terms of name, image, and likeness and the issues of the day in college athletics.
Absolutely. The kind of AD universe is really close together. And so, we've got real issues facing intercollegiate athletics right now, and the ability to stitch together, pull together as ADs in the league, as institutions within the league is really important. I mean, those topics are certainly going to require all of us to pull together and work through them.
Well, again, congratulations on the new gig. We look forward to meeting you and obviously having you on the show many times. And welcome to Atlanta and welcome back to the ACC.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Go Jackets.
You got it. It's Jay Batt taking care of business, new man in charge, running the show for the boys down there in the ATL.